Good morning, everyone. Hopefully you can hear me. Cheryl, can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. That's good. Morning, everyone. Nice to have you with us. I can't see anyone at this stage. At this stage, Cheryl's muted everyone, and at the end of the presentation, Cheryl will unmute everyone, and you're welcome then to. Yeah, we'll have a question and answer session at the end of this session. But in the meantime, you can post your comments in the in the notes as we go, and we'll answer as we go. But thank you very much for joining us today, and it's great to have Christo with us. Christo heads up our support team. I'm Jonathan Crisp. I'm one of the directors of BarnOwl. So we very uh, happy to have you guys with us today to take you through the upgrade process. It's there are lots of changes being made to BarnOwl all the time, and it's important that you guys that our clients get upgraded. So I'm just going to see what's happening here. It's not moving my presentation. Don't know why. Let me just stop sharing. Start sharing again. I can't move to the next slide. Don't know why. Murphy's Law. Strange. Just hang on, please. I'm just going to go out of the presentation. And open it again. Hopefully you can see that. I think you can. Trying to see why it doesn't. So we're going to just discuss the benefits of upgrading, how we communicate when there is a new version, who's responsible for upgrading BarnOwl. I think that's quite important because there's quite a bit of confusion around that. And then Christo is going to take you through a practical example of how to perform the upgrade. This session was aimed also at the champions of BarnOwl, in other words, the main the users of BarnOwl, but also the IT people involved. You do need help from your IT to upgrade BarnOwl. So I'm not sure how many IT people are on the call, but as long as the champions are on the call, then it's fine. We are recording the session as well, so that's going to at least you can refer to this afterwards. The benefits of upgrading. One of the benefits is that we continually adding new features to the product. So recently, at the beginning of this year, we released version 11, which is a whole new web interface using the latest technology. I think quite a lot of you already have the upgrade, version 11.1. 11.1 also, we've included Power BI and SSRS reporting. It's not built into BarnOwl, but it is works with version 11. You can still use Power BI and SSRS with version 10, but it's much easier with version 11. So we have got a lot of clients now starting to use the standard Power BI and SSRS. Which is the customized reporting that, one of the most important things is to get good reporting out of the system. And the important thing there is if you've got version 11, it is much easier to use that reporting. We're about to release version 11.2. That's a whole new web interface for surveys, questionnaires, risk and control self-assessments. That's actually just coming out. We're doing internal testing at the moment, but that should be released in October. We've also made major changes to the key indicators, key risk indicators, to introduce financial periods. Certainly public sector use key indicators extensively. The BarnOwl web reporting, we're hoping to build in web reporting into the web interface. We're doing a lot of work on the web interface that we're working on towards the end of 2023. And 11.4 is to get BarnOwl internet facing. At the moment, everything works in a VPN, but when the votes and surveys and questionnaires are internet facing, it's going to also open up the opportunity for external parties to actually participate in possibly some of your surveys and CSAs as well. You know, if you've got external assurance providers, which a lot of our clients do have. Patches and bug fixes, you know, software has always got bugs in it. We try and kill as many bugs as we can, but we don't. They're always little bugs in the system. So when upgrades, we're always addressing minor little things and sorting them out and fixing them. So that's another benefit of upgrading. That's important. Performance enhancements, we never stop trying to speed the system up. Obviously, the web interface is also a lot quicker than the rich interface over a VPN. So we are, building more and more into the web interface, traditionally called BarnOwl Lite, but it's going to become more and more just called the BarnOwl web application, because it'll have much of what the rich BarnOwl rich functionality has. But either way, we are always doing performance enhancements both on the web interface as well as the rich interface. And then technology enhancements, excuse me. There's always new versions of SQL, new versions of Windows. So it's very important to keep up. BarnOwl has to be able to run on the latest versions of SQL. I think it's SQL 2022 at the moment. I might be wrong. Krista will correct me, but the minimum requirement is SQL 2012. So we've got SQL 2012 has passed its end of life now, but we do allow clients to still use old versions of the operating systems and SQL, but we can't keep, BarnOwl doesn't keep running on, for example, SQL 2008. After a few years, you do have to upgrade and get your platforms upgraded as well. And BarnOwl needs to be backwards compatible for a couple of years, but also the latest technology. So those are the benefits of upgrading. And then the other thing is the ongoing BarnOwl support. So if you look at our license agreement, generally says that we support a major version -1. So at the moment, we're now on version 11, which means we would support version 11 and we would support version 10, but we would stop supporting version 9. It's not actually the case. We still support our clients, but it gets almost impossible to support version 8, for example, because version 8 is very outdated, and we might still have 1 or 2 clients running version 8, very few. But version 9, expired, or the last version of 9 was the 19th of September 2019. So we really officially only support version 11 and version 10. So it's very important to get upgraded to the latest version. And you can do a jump. You can jump straight from 8 to version 11, or 9 to version 11, or 10 to version 11. But hopefully there's no one on version 8 anymore. With that, you would need help from our support desk. In terms of knowing when there's a version available, we do send an emailer out to our clients. I'll show you what that looks like. I hope I'll show you at the end rather, because I don't want to jump around in this presentation too much. There's on our website, we've got a brand new website. Well, not brand new, but certainly this year, 2023. There's a knowledge base. There's also a what's new document. I'm not going to go into it right now. I'll go into it maybe at the end. We also write a lot of in our newsletters. We advertise, the new features that we've got coming out in the system. But very importantly is that what's new document. The what's new document, which you'll find on our website. This presentation will also be on our website. It's got hyperlinks to all the changes that we've made to the software with version by version. So it's very easy to follow. We've got online help that helps you get into the detail of what's changed in a particular version. So it is there on our website. We also, like this, we've run 2 spotlight sessions recently on version 11, and then we ran a spotlight session on the Power BI and the SSRS report packs. Any kind of major version or well, even minor versions, we run spotlight sessions, or and if they're major versions, we run sometimes user groups, although we've replaced our user groups more with smaller spotlight sessions. But those spotlight sessions, if you click on these links, everyone in this presentation will get this session will get the presentation. If you click on these links, there is then a recording of the session, so it's quite nice to refer to it. And there's also a PowerPoint presentation on each of these spotlight sessions as well. And the training, we'd normally advertise when we've got spotlight training. You can book your own training as well, through the support desk or through Cheryl or through your account manager. But we do often run these spotlight training sessions. They're just short spotlight sessions. So this is what the website looks like. You'll see that there's a client hub that is really for our clients. That's where, if you do go to the BarnOwl website, which is a good idea to visit, you'll see that we are constantly writing tips of the month on how to use BarnOwl. We've got guides in there. We've got technical resources, which Christo is going to get to. That's more the documents around minimum requirements, the minimum requirement checklist, and then linked to each of these tip of the months and spotlights. We've normally got presentations and videos, frequently asked questions, and there's also the online help as well. The user documentation in the guides. That's just the technical resources, which is this technical resources tab is related to the upgrade. It's really the key documents. It's the what's new document, the BarnOwl minimum requirements document, which changes a little bit every now and again. The minimum requirements do change. Like, for example, .NET 4.8 is now a requirement for version 11. Christo might go through some of those, but the minimum requirements are important for your IT to review. And then there's a technical checklist that helps you make sure that everything is ready for the upgrade. And then we've also got a document on the process of upgrading, which is part of what we're going through today. Who's responsible for the upgrade? This is always, many years ago, we would have to do the upgrades, but we now have and automate. Well, for quite some time now, from version 10, we had a fully automated wizard-driven approach to upgrading. So it actually is for the champion, the BarnOwl champion, to plan when you would like the upgrade. And the reason for that is that you know, it's very difficult for us. We will advise you as to where there's when there's an upgrade, what the changes are, but it's important for the champions to plan with their users whether they need additional training. Your on the bigger environments or the bigger clients, there's often change advisory board. There's a process that your IT needs to follow. You should, in a way, have a user a test environment, a user acceptance testing environment. Not all our clients have that, but you know, because it's not a mission critical system, it's not a financial system, but it's still advisable really to have a user a separate testing environment, not just a test database, but a testing environment, which you then upgrade first. You make sure that you're completely happy with it, that all the users are trained, and then you roll the upgrade out to the production environment. Now, a lot of the changes are small. You know, if we go from version 11.1 to 11.2 or 11.3, then they're generally not massive changes, although in that particular example, 11.2 will have significant changes to control self-assessment, which is used extensively. So it is worth booking additional training with BarnOwl and planning when you would like to do an upgrade. Now, we can help with the upgrade. You know, our support desk can certainly help with the upgrade, guide your IT team. It might involve an incident pack, for example. I mean, one incident, you know, we sell incidents, you know, it might be one incident, but if it's a involved process where we have to get involved with change advisory board, which we do sometimes on some of the clients, then we actually quote you for the time that it's going to take to follow the whole process and be involved with the upgrade. But the upgrade is actual process of upgrading. The technical side, which Christo is going to show you today, is actually quite simple. But the internal processes of our clients can be quite complicated. And as I say, if we have to get involved with that, then we do quote you. But if it's just hand holding, we will do that together with your IT. But it needs to be driven by the BarnOwl champion and planned so that your users don't just suddenly turn on the computer the next day and get a whole new version and they're a bit lost. So, you know, with version 11, it's quite a big change, especially on, well, the web application is completely different. So it does require training. But we will do more and more spotlights, and we will try and do as much as we can to help our client base to get to know version 11. It's a great interface, and it's quick and fast, and well, I love it. So yeah. And then how do you perform the upgrade? I'm just going to ask Krista to step in here. We're going to go through 2 more slides here, and then Krista is going to do a practical demonstration.
Perfect. Thank you, Jonathan. Yeah, so step 1 would be just to download the What's New document and make sure that you understand any additional features or enhancements that were made. Step 2 would be to have a look at the minimum system requirements to make sure that your environment still is up to standard in terms of minimum requirements. Step 2B is the technical installation details and BarnOwl installation details and technical checklist. That is, quickly run through it afterwards, but that is just to make sure that you know what servers BarnOwl's installed on, what the licenses are, and if we need to step in, what the VPN details or remote access details are. Step 3 would be just to download the guide from the customer hub. I'll demonstrate that shortly. And then let me take you through the process quickly. I'll share my screen.
Okay, thanks, Krista. Thanks.
Perfect. So the first step would be to go to our website, go to the client hub section and log into BarnOwl customer hub. On the customer hub, you'll need to use your work email address to log in. If you don't have an account yet with our support application, you can create an account. Just make sure that you use your work email address when completing the form. Once you've logged into the customer hub, you'll be presented with the landing page. In the landing page, you can go to BarnOwl knowledge base. On the knowledge base, we'll always have the current version -1. So it would be, in this instance, the previous version was 10.5.1 and the current version is 11.1. From here, you can then download the technical checklist, our upgrade files, the what's new document. You can download it either from the BarnOwl website or you can download it from here. The client installation guide, and then the BarnOwl server upgrade guide. On the technical installation checklist, we just need, obviously, the organization name, required by date. Just note that we usually have a 2-week leadway in terms of scheduling resources. We will need to know who can we contact if we run into issues from a technical perspective, a second technical consultant, and then also the BarnOwl administrator should the user need to test afterwards so that we can communicate. We'll also need number of risk users, audit users. This section, your administrator or your BarnOwl champion will have these details. We will require remote access details. It can be TeamViewer, doesn't have to be a VPN account, but we do need some form of a remote tool to connect to your environment. Same with workstation details. You can just go through the drop downs. Server details, we'll need to know what's your database server, application server, or if we're doing UAT first, we'll need to get the server details for the UAT environment. Active Directory details, for most of customers, this will already be in place, but for new customers, we do require a service account that we can use to query your Active Directory. Okay, so upgrading BarnOwl, the first step would be to obtain the upgrade files. So you can click on the upgrade files link and then click on the link within that ticket. This will take you to our OneDrive folder where you can download the release. You can just click on download and it will download a zip file for you. Just to speed it up a bit, I pre-downloaded the zip file. So once you've downloaded it, copy it to your BarnOwl application server and extract the files on the server. Once it's been extracted, you can open the BarnOwl server update link. You should have two files in there, or sorry, a file, a shortcut, and a directory. Once you've opened it, let me just open it from scratch. Apologies. So the first time you open it, it does take a bit of time. There we go. Okay, so the first screen that you'll see once you open the link is it's going to ask you to connect to your master database. This would, in most cases, be your database server details. In this example, I'm connecting to my own PC. Then you'll need to log on to the database. So if you have a DBA, you can ask the DBA to create a SA account or give you the SA account details. There is a pre-configured user that we can use if the permissions are set correctly. But in this instance, we're just going to use Windows authentication. And as soon as you connect, it will then attempt to connect to the BarnOwl master database. Once you connect it, you'll be presented with your environment page, which in most cases with customers with separate UAT environments, you'll have BarnOwl production and BarnOwl training in this form. For customers that does do UAT testing, they'll first do UAT install and then the production update. Once you clicked on your environment name, it will then bring you to the environment form, which will give you green indicators to indicate if you are ready for the upgrade. If for in any instance anything is red over here, you'll need to go and have a look at, for example, if the folders exists on the server. If it can't reach that folder, it will turn, I think it was amber. On the bottom section, it shows your databases. If anything here is in red, you can click on the database name, and you'll need to make sure that your virtual directories, this is all pre-configured. So in most cases, you won't need to access this, but if there are the warning lights or indicators, you'll need to make sure that your directories over here does exist on the application server. Okay, then to upgrade BarnOwl, you're just going to hover over Update Environment and click on it. It will give you a short summary of what will be changed. And of course, okay, I've already made a backup, so I'm just going to remove DB backups from my environment.
So, Krista, does it automatically create a backup of the database before it upgrades?
Yeah, if the account that you use to log in to SQL has permissions, it will create the SQL backups for you. Where that account does not have permissions, you'll need to make a manual backup and then just make sure that you untick the backup option in the database form.
Because that's very important, eh? To have
Yes.
a backup, before the upgrade, just in case.
Yes. While we wait, what this utility will do, it will back up all the existing configuration. You'll notice in the top section, there's a directory backup location. So it will zip and back up everything into that directory. If the tick was enabled for database backup, it will create a backup in the default backup directory configured on SQL Server.
So is this upgrading the server now, Christo?
Yes, this is upgrading both the application server and then running scripts on the database to align it with the latest release.
Okay.
For some reason mine is not behaving today.
Murphy's Law.
Yes.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, it sometimes does this. If you click outside of the window, it will go not responding, but I'm looking at the log file, it looks like it is doing something in the background. think I'm just going to close and reopen the program. Just there we go. Now we can see.
Okay. What's it doing, Christo? Just maybe.
Yeah, so it will compress the existing configuration, and then it will also have a look at the configuration files, populate any possible new configuration files with the old values, and then it will replace the virtual directories, for example, BarnOwl Eclipse, the deployer site, our sync servers, and also the Windows service that manages your LDAP and emails.
Yeah, so this is definitely something that the IT needs to do. So, I mean, we don't want to, it's not something that the BarnOwl champion can do, but it is something that the IT department can do with a little bit of hand holding. But we have got quite a well-documented process around this. So it looks more complicated than it is, but it's that initial just connecting to the right servers, and then, is that right, Christo? It's
That's correct, yes.
got to just get your prerequisites right and know which servers you're upgrading, which databases. How long does it normally take, Christo?
It's on a fast server, it's usually 5 minutes or so. On my computer, it might be slightly less.
Okay. And I suppose the backup of the database depends on how big.
Yes. So
the
if you have a
database is.
massive database, it will take obviously quite a bit of time to back that up.
But the upgrade will take the same time, no matter what size the database is, because it's just upgrading the software really and the scripts.
Yes, so the lower your BarnOwl version, the longer it will take to run all the scripts. Because with each release, there are additional scripts that need to be executed.
It's still going, Christo, in the background.
It looks like it's still going, yes.
Good. Just checking.
Afterwards, I'll just show you the log file, but in the log file, it tells you exactly which step it is on. So at the moment, it is busy creating the 64-bit zip folder for BarnOwl Evolution, which is the file that gets downloaded when a client PC double clicks on BarnOwl after an upgrade. Okay, it's moved on over to the synchronization service, then the Windows service. It's nearly done. Perfect. If everything went well, you'll be presented with the success message. You can just click on OK. If for whatever reason you've encountered an error message, you can click on Open Log. It will open the log file. If you run into any errors, you'll need to email this log file to our support desk, and we will then assist with whatever issue might arise. Once BarnOwl has been upgraded, you can close all the open windows. On that BarnOwl application server, in most instances, we have a client installation on the desktop. You'll need to shift right-click on the BarnOwl icon as soon as my screen starts responding, and select Run as Administrator. While that is loading, you can also test your BarnOwl Eclipse site. I'm just going to open mine and let it load in the meantime.
So just to explain what this is doing now, Krista, it's downloading the new version of the software to the desktop. This is for the rich client, yeah.
Yeah, so this is typically what a customer PC or client PC will see that when they open BarnOwl again. If they don't upgrade, you'll just need to shift right-click Run as Administrator just to make sure that the files can be overwritten. Okay, let's see if the web interface loaded. The first time you open the Eclipse website after an upgrade, it usually takes a bit of time.
Will most clients be able to run that as administrator, Krista, or?
Customers with very strict user policies or domain group policies might need to get their IT department to assist with a username and a password with elevated permissions.
So and if you then click on the icon, it checks to make sure there's another. It sees that there's a new release, yes, a new version, and then if you don't have permissions, it won't open BarnOwl with the old version at all, unless it's been run with unless it's upgraded, you know, with those admin permissions. Yeah.
Yeah, you'll notice on the logon screen, it will show the version number in the middle right section.
Yeah, but that's now because when it was doing the deployer at the time, you know, you swapped screens, but what you would have seen on that, Rich, is that we would have seen the deployer.
Perfect. Okay, and then just to test the web interface, you can ask one of the BarnOwl application users just to navigate to BarnOwl Eclipse and test if they can sign in. Once that is done, the upgrade is finished.
Yeah, also just show where the version is at the bottom of that Eclipse. So if you open Eclipse, you'll see in the bottom right-hand side, right at the bottom there is the version, is the latest version. So that's version 11.1.3. Yes. Krista upgraded from, what were you on there? You were on
10.5.1.
Okay. And on BarnOwl itself, on the rich version, just maybe open that quickly. You'll see it there on the logon screen, but also when you log in, maybe just log into one of those databases. So if there was a new version, it would pop up and it would come up with that deployer that you saw before Krista swapped screens, and that's it downloading the latest version. But you'll also then right at the bottom there see version 11.1.3. So then you know that you're on the latest version.
Perfect, thank you.
Is that it, Krista?
That's it from my side.
Okay. I think I'm just gonna quickly. I don't know why when I share I can't see everyone, but we're gonna open the floor in 2 minutes. I just thought what I might want to do, and again, I can't see everyone, but can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Okay. I just thought maybe what I'll do, it's a bit frustrating that I then can't see Teams at all, but I thought what might be quite useful to show is this document. This is the What's New document. That opens. So it just shows you version 11 was released then, when the versions are released, and what the latest changes are that have been made, and there are links to the online help. So it's quite comprehensive. The dates and times of, well, the dates of when the latest releases were made. So that's always a good document to have a look at. The BarnOwl knowledge base, as I say, is, well, the emailer looks a bit like this. This is the emailer we send out. So it hasn't got the pretty pictures in my email at the moment, but we do, if you're not getting these emailers, then maybe just get hold of us or Cheryl if you don't get these. But we normally on sort of most significant releases, we will send out an emailer to the champions to say there's a new release. This, and again, these are what the changes are. And then a link to the What's New document, a link to the technical minimum BarnOwl technical requirements. Again, this is more for your IT guys, is the minimum requirements. Not sure why that's so slow, but it's doing a Mimecast check. That was the checklist. Sorry, that's that checklist. But there's also then the document around. Just get out of here. If I just go here, just to show you, and then we'll open the floor for questions. This is the website, but the important tab for the technical is the technical resources, and then this BarnOwl minimum requirements document, which really just gives everyone a view of the version history, and then what all the minimum requirements are to run BarnOwl, which your IT guys will understand. Okay, Cheryl, will you open the floor and I will stop sharing. If I can get out of here. There we go. I see there's a question, is the upgrade free? Yes, the upgrade is free. So that's what the annual fees cover. So as I say, we continually enhancing the software. We try and look at, we've got a roadmap. So we've obviously got to take into account the latest technology as well, to build a system according to that. But we also look at what clients are requesting. We try and group together as many requirements as possible. Like, for example, key indicators. We had a lot of, especially public sector, requesting key indicator changes. So we've now made those changes. So the upgrades are, they are free because you're paying an annual upgrade fee. The actual performing the upgrade, we want our clients to try and do the upgrades themselves, or their IT to do the upgrades themselves, so that they don't have to wait for us. And as I say, we will handhold your IT department to help you. But if it's a very complicated CAB approval, then we normally quote the client to actually do the upgrade for your IT or with your IT. So you're welcome to ask any questions. I think just put your hand up if you'd like to ask any questions. It looks like people are muted still, Cheryl.
No, they can unmute themselves.
Oh, okay. Are there any questions from anyone? Everyone intimidated by Christo. Alvino, go for it.
Hi, Jono. Tell me, I just registered on the BarnOwl client app. How long does it take for the mail to come through before I can log in?
Christo, could you answer that, please? Christo, you're on mute. Christo's gone AWOL. Normally we get that email and then respond to you very quickly. But Christo manages that. I don't know why Christo's on mute. He might have. Where's Christo? Sorry, Alvino. We can get back to you. Sorry, what's that question? Can you upgrade from 10.5.1 straight to 11? Yes, you can. We can go straight from version 9 straight to 11. It runs multiple scripts. I don't know what happened to Christo. Seems to have disappeared. Are there any other questions for us? I mean, you can also email us if you have any questions, but this recording will be available. I just want to see if there are any other questions here. Maybe I should put my camera on. It's a bit more. We have a question here. Amanda, go for it.
Morning, Jonathan. No, it's actually not a question. I just wanted to confirm that, I mean, I really actually appreciate always these sessions you have because it helps. And our IT people actually commends BarnOwl tremendously with the way upgrades are being run. So I think the enhancements are absolutely fantastic, and it helps us really to build that relationship with our IT guys as well, and to carry on. You know, I mean, the last upgrade we did in UAT, I was not even involved at all. I just got a mail, it's done. So thank you very much for that.
Oh, thanks, Amanda. That's very good feedback. Thank you. Yeah, I think the important thing is to, look at the what's new document. We try and communicate as much as we can about what's new, what's coming out. We obviously completely passionate about BarnOwl. That's our everything to us. So, the more we can keep our customers happy, the better. And, and the more enhancements we can make and the better the product. We obviously want happy customers. So, but it is quite important to then plan the upgrades a bit, because some of the changes that we're making are quite significant. I'm very excited by the reporting that we've added now, the Power BI and the SSRS, because what happens is people go back to Excel a lot of the time because, capturing data can be quite painful, but the the important thing with the system is to be able to get really good reports out of the system. And that's really what the Power BI, the SSRS, I mean, there are a lot of built-in reports as well, but you know, if you get really good, meaningful reports out of a system, then that's the value. And then obviously the ability to do, you know, action plans and tracking and monitoring and trend analysis is very important. So we're really hoping with time that, you know, what happens is people sign, you know, they go with a system. It's not just a BarnOwl problem. They implement a system, they use it, the champion moves to another organization or it loses impetus, and then individual users get a bit frustrated because they've got to capture data in a very structured way. I mean, you know, you've got to capture risks, you've got to capture contributing factors, you should capture controls the right kind of way, you know, against contributing factors or against the risks. So Excel is much easier because you can put, it sounds terrible, but you can put kind of junky data into it or non-structured data. So people revert back to that. But if we can just make the system as easy as possible to use and great reports, then we can just keep customers happy and using the system.
Sorry, John, I'm back online. I'm not sure if you can hear me.
Yes, we can.
Perfect. Sorry, my microphone stopped working for some reason.
Jeez.
Alvino, we did get your request to get access to the customer hub. You'll receive an email shortly with the login details.
Thanks, Christo. That's great. Are there any other questions? Good to have Christo back. In case there's some technical questions out there. As I say, we will put the presentation up on the website, and we'll also send an email out to you guys to thank you for joining us today. It's been great. Good turnout. So I think if there are no more questions, then we will end for the day. But any more questions? Yes, no, maybe? No. Thank you very much for your time this morning. And thanks, Christo, for taking us through that. I really appreciate everyone's time today. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.